Hello, welcome to RSC Fire Modeling. In today's video, we're going to talk about ventilation. And I wanted to use a couple examples, and in this particular case, I wanted to use a full-scale enclosure. Well, the one on the right is a standard full-scale enclosure that we test with. It's a 12-foot wide, 12-foot deep, 8-foot tall. The header is 16 inches. That comes from some standards that tell us what we want to or what we need to have to trap an appropriate amount of upper gas layer. It has a couch, a chair, a table, a couple end tables, even a lamp, carpet and carpet padding. Carpet and carpet padding is very important because it has a low thermal inertia and it allows the surface temperature to rise quicker, which helps accelerate transitioning through flashover as opposed to not having it in there. So right now we have a free burning fire. That fire has all of the air it needs because you've got this huge opening here. And lateral flame spread will occur as the radiated heat from the flame horizontally preheats the furniture and the material on the surface, and then it pyrolyzes that, it ignites, and the process is repeated. And in this incipient stage, that process is relatively slow. But as more and more energy is convected vertically, it starts building up that hot gas layer up at the ceiling. And that hot gas layer starts radiating back down onto the furniture. And as it radiates back down onto the furniture, it helps cause the furniture to preheat quicker, pyrolyze, and spread much faster. And you'll notice that in some of the videos up on the site. One thing I do want to point out here, there'll be a certain time in the event that I'll tell you that's when I called for the fire truck. I assumed the fire truck was in position, ready to go, and when I called for them, they just had their guys start spraying water. We did ask them to be very judicious with the water, to use fog nozzles, because we wanted to not have the hose wash up on the walls. We really wanted to see the kind of burn patterns that we had. And when I did call for the fire truck, I heard the fire truck start up, roll 20 feet, the guys get off, they pull the pre-connects up, put their mask on, put the wet stuff on the red stuff. About 90 seconds later, it really reinforces the big picture when you're building a timeline. You really need to think about a lot of things. Time of detection to time of the phone call, retransmission from central station to fire station, time it takes to get the guys out of the firehouse onto the pad, from the pad of the fire station to the site, from the site set up, ready to go, till the time water hits and stops the growth of the fire. And in a big city, when you think you have a 2-minute response time, you may find it takes 7 to 10 minutes. So those are things to really look at and consider. A couple things going on. All of this heat, both convected vertically and radiated laterally, is having a chance to escape. In a normal cell that we burn in a full scale, as well as our reduced scale enclosures, we have 4 walls with 1 vent opening. In this scenario, we only have 3 walls. So we actually are losing a lot of convected and radiated heat. And that will affect the overall room dynamics and the patterns. So in the videos, when we talk about a Parker door, at this point here, when the fire hit up there, that's when I called for the fire truck. So when we look at the Parker door calculations that says that the door opening will be about half the width on a reduced scale, you could see how that would really alter your burn results because you're dumping so much heat out, both convected and radiated, it's going to alter the burn patterns. A typical room in a house, room and contents fire, would not burn this way because it doesn't have that amount of air because the vent openings aren't large enough like that. Now, on the website, there's also a couple photographs of the regular full-scale enclosures with a standard 32-inch door. And you'll notice the volume of fuel coming out, or a fire. Also, there's a photograph up there. It's actually taken back over to the right and kind of giving us an angle shot. And you can see how large that tornado is. This huge fire tornado rotating around. Air is being sucked in and entrained here, and we're just burning. And all these fuel vapors, there's so much in there that they can't burn until they get outside. So now the firefighters are just being judicious with that water to help us out. And it gave us a chance to really look at how we burn things so completely. Much more damage done to the furniture than we would expect. And again, that's because we basically had a large, for a lack of a better term, a large campfire. We had a sufficient amount of air, and it just kept burning and burning and burning what it needed to do. So please take this video under context of looking at the ventilation opening and what would happen if we made a large vent opening on a reduced scale enclosure, lost all that extra heat, both convected and radiated, and how that would ultimately affect our overall room patterns, both on the walls and the furniture themselves. Again, these are great for showing people the power of fire. They're great for demonstration. In this case, we have a sprinkler head over here, 2 layers of drywall, one on each side. Did a great job keeping the heat over here, no problem. When we fired that one up, sprinkler head activated, controlled the fire in the wastebasket, no problem. So compare this video with some of the other photographs on the website, and then when you look at the calculations, you'll understand a little bit more. Again, thank you, be safe, and happy modeling.